What's good, everybody? It's CoolPop30 here. Welcome to my review of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Now, I recently just came back from watching it in IMAX at AMC, so this is going to be 100% non-scripted and my first initial thoughts on the film. If you're worried about spoilers, don't worry. The first section is going to be entirely spoiler-free, and then the next section is going to be spoilers. So don't worry, you'll know when to end the video when you don't want any spoilers. So that being said, hit the like, subscribe button, and comment down below if you watched the film, what your initial thoughts were. Did you love it? Did you dislike it? Comment down below. Also, I hope everyone doesn't mind the Godzilla Shark and Monsters melee footage in the background. It helps keep everyone's attention while I talk about the review. So that being said, now let's get on to the review of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. This movie feels like a classic Showa era film brought into the modern age and enhanced with a Hollywood budget. You have everything that makes the Showa era films great. You have great monster designs, great effects, great monster fights. Even the music for this movie is actually not that bad. Junkie XL did a way better job here than he did with Godzilla vs. Kong, that's for sure. And that being said, the highlight of the film is obviously Kong. His relationship with Zuko and his dilemma fighting the Scar King is truly great, and you feel for Kong actually. You keep rooting for him the whole movie to succeed. And just like I said, Scar King is not the best Monsterverse villain. They'll always be King Ghidorah to me, just because I love King of the Monsters so much, but, you know, he has his own ways of gaining control and keeping it. He's just one big fascist Kong. Or, Kong fascist? Anyway, he's an evil ape that has a secret weapon. That's how he keeps control. That's how he stays number one. I do have my gripes with this film. The characters are probably the worst, like I said. Godzilla feels like a summon or like a side character in his own film, which kind of sucks that they did that again. I'm hoping near the future that we kind of leave Kong in the Hollow Earth, because he already has a story. His story is completed in this movie. We need more Godzilla. Sure, you get some fights with Godzilla here and there, but they feel kind of lackluster. They feel like they happen too quick. It's like, oh my god, Godzilla's fighting a new Titan. Boom! It's like, what happened? I just missed it. Like, it was like 2 seconds. But I do love Godzilla's design in this film, but it feels like that design didn't really need to happen. It felt like Godzilla could have taken care of business by not just becoming Super Saiyan Rose. But don't get me wrong, I still love the design. It's probably like my favorite design of the Showa era, or not the Showa era, the Monsterverse era. That's probably my favorite design. It just looks so clean. It reminds me of Godzilla 2000. Overall, this movie is fun. I do love Adam Wingard's attempts to make it like a Showa era film, but if you want to be a Showa era film, you really need to have a great theme to keep me interested. And for this movie, it really feels like you can remove the characters and they would add literally nothing to the film. They would add not much, you know what I mean? It'll still be the same movie. Except for one scene, which I'll probably go over in spoilers, but the way they give Kong his power fist is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just one big massive plot armor. It's insane just because the details of it. It's like, how do they know this? How do they get this? Why did they have this? And why did they make it specifically just for Kong? And I'm not even talking about the power glove itself. It's stuff that's inside the power glove that just made me so confused. Zuko was great too as Kong's Atreus, because it was so funny watching that movie. It felt like I was playing God of War, where King Kong's just Kratos and Atreus is Zuko. I was thinking, wait a minute. I swear to God, throughout the film, I thought Kong was going to yell out boy to him. I was like, oh my god. Then don't bring me back. I 100% that game, and that game was fun, but it was insane to play it on. Give me God of War difficulty. That was not fun. But anyway, the film is fun. Although it doesn't have enough substance for me to consider it like an amazing Monsterverse film, like I can with Godzilla or Kong Skull Island or even King of the Monsters. I will defend King of the Monsters with my life. That movie is fantastic. But it's still a fun addition. King Kong is really great, and he gets his name finally. He really gets that name, King Kong, instead of just Kong. And you know what I mean if you watch the film. I would put the movie in low B tier, as I really enjoyed it. It's just the highlights with Kong are so superb that it feels like it's finally time to give King Kong some good rest for all he did for the Monsterverse. He basically carried the last 2 movies, what? He basically carried those movies. I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong, it's Kong and Godzilla. But here it's like Godzilla, or not even that, it's Kong side cameo of Godzilla. It's like, oh man. But still, hopefully in the Monsterverse we get another full-length Godzilla film focus on Godzilla and just having Kong just be there in the Hollow Earth just chilling. But yeah, those are my takes for the spoiler-free section. I really enjoyed it. I recommend watching it in IMAX if you can. And let's get on to the spoiler section. Okay, I do like how Scar King kept Shimo as basically just a prisoner. That I like near the end when Scar King loses control and they break the crystal or whatever that controls Shimo. That's pretty interesting. That Shimo didn't just immediately start attacking Godzilla and Kong. She just kind of stopped and like, hey, I'm free. That was pretty cool to see. And seeing Kong return with her and Zuko, it's like, yeah, that was great to see. It's like, oh, cool. Kratos has a cool ice dragon to protect him now. We're good with Kong. Kong is good. Whatever's gonna come next has to beat up Godzilla and just avoid Kong at all times. But yeah, Shimo. This is all gonna be about Shimo. I really love Shimo in this film. The design is great. I just really enjoyed how it was really funny. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of that scene where the main character or the scientist is like, oh my god, she created the first ice age. Me and my brother were dying laughing. It was like, oh no, what killed the dinosaurs? Shimo! But yeah, Shimo created the Ice Age, and for some reason we don't talk about it in the movie Ice Age. That's weird. It's like, oh, it wasn't a meteorite. It was actually Shimo. That was so goofy to me. But yeah, Scar King is basically just an evil fascist. He looks big and intimidating, but in the end, it's just really frail. That's basically all it is. But the fight scenes with Kong were really great. His first fight scene with the other Kongs and Zuko was so funny. Seeing him grab Zuko and ragdoll him like a bunch of nunchucks. He ragdolled him and started whacking him against other Kongs. Me and my brother were dying laughing. It was like, what the hell is happening? But yeah, Kong was great in this film. Godzilla, like I said in the beginning, Godzilla fighting the other Titans really felt lackluster to me because it just happened so fast. Like, he beat up the spider easily. Cool, okay, the spider was just there, wreaking havoc, and Godzilla's like, hey, stop it. Or, Godzilla wanted the power from the one in Antarctica. I don't even know what's his name. It looked like, I call it Manda. Me and my brother were calling him Manda. It's like, oh, cool, we get to see him in a, you know, an underwater fight. I don't think we had that in a minute. And it just kind of happened in 20 seconds, and Godzilla kills him immediately to gain the power. I was like, oh, okay. But the fight scene in Middle Earth, Hollow Earth, oh my god, Middle Earth, wait a minute, that's a different entire thing. But anyway, the fight in Hollow Earth with Shimo, with Scar King, and Godzilla and Kong, and Mothra, that's right, I didn't want to spoil that, but Mothra's in this movie. It was cool to see her again. I preferred it over that weird Pegasus, Egyptian Pegasus thing they were trying to do. Just have it be Mothra. I don't think Godzilla would listen to that thing anyway. Be like, who the heck are you? You're not Mothra. Just immediately squishes it. It's like, oh no. Godzilla, what have you done? But yeah, that fight scene in Hollow Earth was probably the highlight of the film for me. It was so cool. And I wish we didn't go to Brazil just because, you know, Scar King had to go finally up on the surface for the first time in, what, centuries or whatever. It's like, cool. Just stay in Hollow Earth. It was such a cool fight. The anti-gravity stuff was so much fun. But what else did there say? Oh, yeah, the Power Glove thing. Yeah. The dude, it was so funny. Trapper was like, oh, yeah, we have the secret Project Powerhouse thing or whatever. And it's like, okay. They have it here on Hollow Earth. Why? They had a prototype ready to go and Kong was going to use it or something. And the fact that it had, for some reason, like an antifreeze liquid. Like, what are the odds? That felt like super plot armor to me, seeing the literal antifreeze be like, okay, here, Kong, this will save you. How do they have that already so perfectly? That was so weird. But what else did they say about the movie? Yeah, the characters kind of sucked. What I meant about the whole theming not going hardcore, you don't see what I'm talking about, with the guy saying, or Trapper saying to Bernie, don't record these people, the people from, not Skull Island, but the people of Hollow Earth, don't record them or else people will come, you know, colonizers. And I was like, oh cool, you know, that's not a bad message to say, you know what I mean? They're just, if bad things happen, you know, it's obvious, but Adam Wingard didn't go too much into that, or I don't think he wanted to, but it just felt like, oh, you said it, let's kind of expand on that. It just really felt flat to me, and it kind of felt like pandering to me, you know what I mean? It was like, oh cool, let's talk about it, you know what I mean? Because this is an actual thing in history. It's like, Okay, let's get to the cool fight scenes. Look at the fight scenes. Look at Godzilla. Godzilla looks cool, right? Don't pay attention to that. I didn't mean it. It's like, oh, just kind of give me more. I want a little bit more substance in my film. And is that it, basically? That's all I want to talk about? I mean, the Power Fist thing was hilarious. Amanda. Oh, the ending. Oh, the ending. Yeah. That was so funny. Me and my brother and my cousin were looking at each other like, what? When you see Kong literally combo the Scar King into Godzilla, holding him up and letting Shimo freeze him. It felt like a fatality move. Like a ultra combo. It was so crazy. I was like, yes. Fight, kill, and seeing poor Lanky Kong just explode by just getting shouted like Sub-Zero. I was like, this is a fatality. This is a Mortal Kombat movie, my Godzilla movie. Oh, yeah. Godzilla fighting in Egypt with Kong, when he suplexed him, I was like, oh my god, we're watching a wrestling match. We're watching a wrestling match with Godzilla and Kong. I can't believe he suplexed him. In a million years would I ever expect a suplex in my Godzilla film. But, is that basically it? Oh yeah, Zuko. It was so funny seeing him try to kill Kong every step of the way before they got there, and he learned sympathy from Kong. Yeah, I guess that's how King Kong became King Kong, is that he finally gained control of his people, and now he has a family. He saved his family, which is good to see. That was very great to see. King Kong is the best in this film, and he should honestly just rest. I feel like he adds not much more, unless it's like, you know, we're going to destroy all monsters, which I highly doubt that'll happen in like the next 5 years or so. Probably will never happen. I think we need to just focus on a good, fun Godzilla story, maybe with some returning kaiju. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Hedorah or Biollante, maybe Gigan. Does anybody want Gamera in the Monsterverse? No, I can't even say that with a straight face. I'm like, oh yeah, oh my god, let's get Gamera. But yeah, overall, although I did enjoy it, there are some major problems with this film. Although, you should really watch it in IMAX. I was kind of blown away that this is the lowest budget film for the Monsterverse. It looks really good in IMAX. But that's basically it. I enjoy the film, and I hope you enjoy the video. It's kind of just on the fly what I thought. You know, I give this movie like a 6.5 out of 10. I still enjoyed it. Highly recommend watching it in IMAX, and I'll catch everybody for the next video. Later, everybody.